Utan pengar kommer din bror aldrig tillbaka. Without money. Utan pengar. Din bror kanske kommer tillbaks. Men du kommer förlora din framtid. Är det verkligen okej? Ingenting kan stå i vägen för min framtid. Så länge jag har mig, min... hej och välkomna tillbaka i alla fall. Vi fortsätter där vi avslutade. På en liten cliffhanger här. Det är ganska spännande ändå. Vi håller på att jagas här och vi har hållit på med det här typ en timme nu. I realtid. Men i speltid så är det alltså... Hon har hållit på med det typ 24 timmar kanske. Nej, hela dagen i alla fall. Ja, tydligen har du ju det. The criminal side, impressed. Sure. Tsubaki has never seen her parents worried about being poor. Her family might not be rich, but they're definitely not impoverished. The kidnapper kept on repeating questions that she just couldn't understand. These subjects confused her. Just what do they have to do with the ransom? In an instant, the flame in Tsubaki's heart burned again. Utterly unforgivable, Tsubaki immediately began to doubt herself for feeling such intense hatred for this unforgivable criminal. But the moment that her words had burst the dam, she couldn't stop. She could no longer understand anything. What happened to the self that was worried about the kidnapper's feelings? What would happen if she provoked him again? I just want to see Hiroaki. That was the only thought in her heart. The kidnapper suddenly spoke up. To the burger place? There's no longer any time to write in her diary. It'll be a stretch to make the trip in the short amount of time remaining. She can only obey. The call ended. Tsubaki kept the cell to her ear for a moment longer. She had never thought that paying the ransom would be so exhausting. The kidnapper said that this would be the last place. Up until now, he said it every single time, and it was a lie every single time. Still, this time feels different. She thought of the family waiting for her at home. Her parents are probably worried about her. I'll be back soon. Haru chased after Tsubaki with all her strength as she sprinted through Central Boulevard. She rushed into the station and retrieved the briefcase. Tsubaki might be tired, but she still moves amazingly quickly. It's like she's using every ounce of strength remaining in her body. The train station was in chaos. She had no time to look for Kyosuke, who was supposed to be guarding the locker. Damn it. Haru swept her gaze across the chaotic street. Her line of sight was blocked, almost completely. Young people filled the street like a mudslide. Just how many people had she bumped into already? The shape of Tsubaki's coat would often get swallowed by the sea of people, momentarily gone without a trace. This is the route that Haru usually takes on the way home after work. Jag har något i halsen. Okej, det blir nog bra. This is the route that Haru usually takes on the way home after work. But this is the first time she has seen it this crowded. She She noted the reason for this almost instantly. Okay. A live television broadcast. Everyone who wanted to see Kanon or be on television pressed ever closer to the stage. On either side of the road were cars from the station and staff manning equipment. This is the moment Maou has been waiting for. It was so chaotic it was suffocating. Truly an excellent chance to grab the ransom. Haru wanted to stop Tsubaki to ask her where she was bringing the ransom, but her shouts were lost in the din of the crowd. Tsubaki didn't have time for questions anyway. Maou must be urging her on. To have Tsubaki at a speed he's never asked of her before meant that to Maou, this is the moment where the winner will be decided. If I'm going to act, it has to be now. Haru charged towards Tsubaki. Är det här en till ny CG? Jag vet inte. Jag gillar hennes ansikte också. Helt stoneface. Tsubaki, breathing hard, finally reached her destination. She relentlessly prayed, please don't let it be 9:30. The girl pushes through the sea of people, searching straight forward, knocking into the crowd. People yell and curse at her. She causes a lot of people trouble. However, she can't spare the time to apologize anymore. She was in a hurry. She even fell down, dropping the briefcase onto the ground. That briefcase, more important than her life. She held it tightly as she crossed the deluge of people with blinding speed. Tsubaki stopped. She looked around casually. It should be okay to just drop it here, right? It wouldn't be picked up by someone who isn't involved in this, would it? The kidnapper said to put down the briefcase and run. Nej, han sa walk away. Jag tror inte han sa run away, men... Eller det kanske jag gjorde. At that moment, an unbelievably bright voice shot through the crowd from nearby amplifiers. Tsubaki was speechless, unable to believe her ears. Why is Kanon? It was way beyond the comprehension. Still, she heard it clearly. It's 9:30. If I don't drop the briefcase and run, Hiroaki is dead. Now, at the exact moment Tsubaki set the attaché case on the ground, I went into action. I walked through the crowd, closing in on the briefcase quickly. I gripped the briefcase tightly. It's been less than 5 seconds since it left its previous owner. Everyone's eyes are focused on the radiant entrance of the famous figure skater Asahi Kanon. This confusion is what I wanted. I've been waiting all day to coordinate my retrieval of the ransom with this broadcast. This chaos is what I wanted. Even if the police were right behind me, I have confidence that I could escape. That would be true for one reason alone. I'm simply too familiar with this city. I've considered many escape routes. Usami is simply a girl. What can she do? A shout from behind me penetrated the din of the spectacle. It was Usami. It seems that she's been closely following Tsubaki. She caught a glimpse of me. Anyway, Usami, just how many people do you think are carrying briefcases in this bustle of people so close in the business district? As I expected, no one paid any attention to me. Shouting is useless now. I straightened up, walking casually. If there was a thief, they'd be running for their life. No one would think that I was a kidnapper. Men vart är hon då? Kommer hon inte ikapp eller något sånt där? No, something's wrong. Along with a shiver down my spine, the stage speaker sent a sound to me. With that... The broadcast could pose trouble. If I face the cameras, there's a chance I'll be on film. If my face surfaces during a piddly little game like this, it may affect future plans. I want to run right now, but doing so would be like announcing to everyone that I'm a thief. Jag älskar den här bilden också, det är så himla så här. Jag vet inte, någonting med det här känns så himla B. Fast på ett underbart sätt, det är liksom... Så springer det... I crossed paths with someone and took the opportunity to peek behind me. I caught a glimpse of Asami's long hair through the crowd. For just an instant, Haru saw the figure of a man holding a briefcase. That was Maou. She continued to push forward while trying her hardest to break through the mass of people. The next time she saw Maou, Haru ran straight into someone's arms. After a word of apology, she escaped through his side. With anxiety urging her on, she continued searching for Maou. There. Through the wall of men, women and children, Haru could only get a glimpse of the briefcase. She surged forward with all her might in order to break through the barricade of people. The distance between them didn't decrease. Haru held out her hand in the crowded tide of passers-by. Just a bit farther than she thought. Just a bit farther and I'll catch you, Maou. I passed the most chaotic part of the crowd. Did I successfully lose Uzami? It's dangerous to turn my head around. There's a chance that my face would be seen. Uzami might be able to reach me any second now. Should I take a taxi perhaps? But with traffic the way it is right now, no car can take off immediately. No wait, a taxi. I watched the side mirrors mounted on the taxis that lined the street as I walked. I was in luck, as the mirrors clearly reflected the uniform and hair of Uzami, still trailing me. It looks like she's holding something in her hand. She's less than 10 yards away. Uzami was likely able to get a lock on me and is in pursuit. I don't want to attract attention, but there's no other choice. I break into a run. Maou suddenly took off. He didn't even turn back. How did he know that she was getting closer? Shortly thereafter, Haru saw the parked taxis strewn about on the road and started to lament. Haru looked at Mao's retreating figure. He was a very tall man. He was similar to the person that had confronted her last time, the man who had called himself Maou. Because his legs were longer than hers, the distance between them just continued to increase. Yet chasing him was still quite easy. To run in a crowd such as this means gathering attention. The sounds of the people he pushed, the confused stares, all were focused on Maou. While pushing away through idle bystanders, Haru watched as Maou went inside a coffee shop. Like a rat in a trap, Haru thought. But when Haru arrived in front of the store, she cursed her own thoughtlessness. It was a large-scale chain coffee shop. The shop covered a large area, being at the crossing of a major intersection. Of course, there were more than 2 exits. Even if it was for just a moment, she regretted slowing down. Maou ran intentionally. That must mean that he knows this city like the back of his hand. Should she give chase until the end? Vet hon vart han är nu då? Eller har han liksom helt försvunnit? Ser hon honom fortfarande? Jag vet inte. Haru asked herself a question that needed no answer. No matter what, she wants to catch him. Both for Tsubaki and for herself. After passing through Central Boulevard, the crowd began to thin out considerably. I turned around and took a few glances. Even though it's hard to see in the nighttime lightning, the sound of people's insults had reached me just fine. Looks like Uzami is still on my trail. She's quite stubborn, that one. Let's get rid of her completely. Jumping over the railing of the sidewalk, I rushed into the road. I ran in front of cars moving at snail's pace due to the traffic jam and made it to the sidewalk on the other side. The cars' blaring horns are unending. This should help Uzami find me more easily. I continued my charge as I turned into a discreet alley. A dark alley. After seeing what awaited me there, I knew I had already won. This game of tag is over now. I took out a handkerchief and covered my fingers, ensuring that I won't leave fingerprints. Just how many times have you said it since 9:30? Varför la de inte bara någon sån här spårningssändare eller någonting i väskan? Each time she was showered in annoyed stares and condemnations. The thing she carried was bulky. Haru glanced around, chasing after Mao's image. Even though they left the extravagance of Central Boulevard, it was still very bright out, and only det hon har gjort. The hundreds of cars on the street, all with lights on, were a very reliable boost to visibility. The sound of horns suddenly rang out from the road. Glancing over, it seemed that a man who looked like Maou was casually jaywalking. His face was hidden behind the blindingly bright headlights of the vehicles he blitzed past. Så den musiken är så himla hög så jag blir lite Man blir lite seg i huvudet. Kan jag bara sänka den lite. It was regrettable, but there was nothing Haru could do about it. Just like that, Maou turned into an alley between two buildings. Haru hurriedly pursued him. It was an incredibly narrow alley with a horrible line of sight. Not even two people would be able to walk abreast. Is he inviting me to follow him? Even though Haru was reluctant, there wasn't much more room for her to think. As she gave chase, rushing into the darkness, she felt something weird under her foot. She lost her balance and fell forward to the ground. It was the feel of flesh. Haru was shocked, and the thing that she stepped on screamed. As she calmed down, she realized it was a human leg. She stooped down instinctively. A peculiar putrid odor filled her nose. A few homeless men sat on the ground. They stared at Haru with lifeless eyes before losing interest again. They seemed to be distracted by something. They were kneeling, furiously moving their hands. It looked as though they were digging, as if they were trying to stir the darkened ground. Money. Haru could see a few bills poking out from under their hands. I've already lost, she said to herself, full of regret. She lifted her head and glanced down to the other end of the alley. Men de har redan pratat om att hon håller någonting i handen. De måste berätta vad det är. De måste ta upp det förr eller senare. Jag vet inte vad det skulle kunna vara. Jag vet inte om de spårar den där väskan eller vad de gör. Maou, the enigma whom Haru had her sights nailed to, was now nowhere to be seen. A murmur escaped her lips before a wave of exhaustion overcame her. The day-long battle had finally come to an end. And now it ends all so. In any case, everyone worked very hard. I talked as if nothing had happened. Only Tsubaki and her father were in the living room. I'm sorry that I wasn't of any help. Did you do everything that the kidnapper ordered you to do, Tsubaki? Then the perpetrator should release Hiroaki. I wiped the sweat on my forehead and exhaled deeply. Exhale. Today's work was insanely busy. I can't believe that I had to run all across the city. Gonzo really works me hard. Wow. Det är lite intressant. Vi vet ju att det där är samma person, men han vet ju inte det. Han fattar ju inte det. Han har ju något fel i huvudet liksom. You put such a load on your shoulders. Please don't worry about it. Everyone's in the same boat here. I'll try to help as much as I can from now on. Yeah, sure. From now on, of course, means the paperwork. Since the ransom has been taken, there's no way the Miwa family can possibly pay back the 50 million. The moment the time limit is up, the loaner will immediately take the land as collateral. What did you say? Right. Så, jaha. Oj. Jag tänkte lite fel först. Jag tänkte liksom att när hon sa sådär, right, det är så här med Haru-chan might be able to catch the kidnapper for us. Jag tänkte först liksom att det är hennes brorsa, men det är klart inte är. Jag bara slog slint i huvudet eller någonting. Nu börjar jag bli hungrig. Jag ska gå ner och köpa stor jävla påse chicken nuggets. Jag blev så sjukt sugen på det. Så jag ska gå ner och köpa en stor påse sen efter det här avsnittet. Så vi får väl bara läsa så fort som möjligt. That irritating woman. Usami is going to catch the kidnapper, she says. Får en sms här också mitt i det när jag börjar. Usami is going to catch the kidnapper, she says. Tsubaki, did you ask her to do that? I see. This girl is an idiot. Alltså det känns ju lite så här riskabelt. Så att hon betedde sig där i slutet liksom. If you were going to rely on someone like Usami, you might as well have just called the police in the first place. They're many times better than her.
はるちゃん張り切ってたし、きっと良い結果をもたらしてくれると思うんだ。
Vänta lite. Ja, jag vet inte. Jag känner mig faktiskt lite så här fundersam på om det verkligen är en bra idé. Jag tror inte det är det, men she said that opening her deep eyes. Jag vet inte om hon liksom har... Jag tror att hon eventuellt har gör det lite mer för sig själv. I alla fall liksom, jag tror inte att hon liksom är helt empatilös som person, men jag tror att en del av att hon gör det här är bara för sig själv. Så att jag vet inte. It seems that these two women have been playing a cute little game of friendship while I was gone. Anyway, catching the kidnapper would be best. I brushed away a smidgen of worry. When you stop to think for a second, there's no way a girl like Usami could go up against a kidnapper who abducted a child and demanded a ransom in stock certificates. I say that, and I might just be paranoid, but there does seem to be something about Usami hiding under the surface. It would be very problematic to me if the kidnapper didn't successfully get the ransom.
噂をすれば来たんじゃない？
A sound came from the front door.
Cheers.
I was suddenly faced with a monstrous sight. Yo, Usami, why are you sweating so much?
まあ自分基本走り込みが足らないんで。
Spouting her typical nonsense, she rested against the door frame.
はざいさん、ありがとうございました。
Huh?
ロッカーを見張っててもらいましたよね。
Ah, right. Well, we met on the street by coincidence. Right. The ransom was in the locker, and you told me to guard it.
助かりましたよ、本当。
Alltså jag litar inte på henne nu, hon vet att det är någonting. Something's up. I didn't see any suspicious people going near it.
そうっすか。お忙しいのに本当恐縮です。
Alltså hon vet någonting nu. It took around an hour. By Usami's request, I stayed in the station locker. There was still some time before my next meeting, so I did her a favor. After organizing my memory, I calmed down. Oh, and Usami? She didn't seem all that happy. What happened? Well, I can imagine she didn't catch the culprit at least.
はるちゃん。
Tsubaki gave her hopeful eyes. I don't know when it started, but my palm was full of sweat. Very quickly, Usami lowered her head in front of Tsubaki.
ごめん。犯人には逃げられた。
Usami's expression was twisted by agony. So she does have an expression like that.
気にしないで。はるちゃんがそばにいてくれてるって思うだけで。いや、あんまりそんな余裕なかったけど、とにかく心強かったよ。ごめん。
I also put on my most cheerful tone. Now come on, don't beat yourself up over it. We did what the kidnapper wanted us to do. We didn't contact the police either. After he gets the ransom, he will definitely be satisfied and release Hiroaki-kun. At that, Usami suddenly spoke up.
それはないです。
What? Are you saying that Hiroaki-kun isn't going to come back?
はい。
She said it with no sign of hesitation. Why? I know we can't guarantee that he'll keep his promise, but why are you so sure of it?
そうだよ。犯人は身代金を受け取ったんだから、あとは信じるしか。
Usami slowly shook her head.
犯人はまだ身代金を手にしていない。
What did you say?
どういうことかな。私、ちゃんと指定通りハンバーガーショップの前に
In the face of Tsubaki's questions, Usami just continued to shake her head.
椿、今日の朝、家を出るときに私は言ったよな。最悪の場合、身代金だけは奪われないようにすると。そうすれば、たとえ犯人に逃げられたとしても、もう一度交渉のチャンスはあるとか。
Usami nodded.
だからそうさせてもらった。どうやって？覚えがないか？何のこと？
Then, Usami slowly reached behind her. Opening the half-closed door behind her, she picked something up.
ケース。
Tsubaki gasped. It wasn't just Tsubaki. Everyone was looking at Usami in awe. I, who debriefed Tsubaki earlier, have already guessed what stunts Usami pulled. You swapped
さ
cases.
すが財産です。そうです。混雑したセントラル街で
Fast
私は
alltså,
椿にぶつかっていったん
grejen är
です。
att jag vet inte, det känns liksom rent spontant. Jag blir typ arg på henne. Eller alltså inte, men alltså det känns som att, ja, jag vet inte. Tsubaki seemed to remember.
そういえば誰かにぶつかって一度ケースを落として。
その時にすり替えさせてもらった。私が用意していたケースの中身は空だ。
When did you prepare it?
朝一番に椿がケースを購入した後、同じものを買わせてもらいました。6000円は痛かったですが、それはまあどうでもいいです。
What a girl. So the kidnapper took the empty briefcase and got away.
はい。身代金の株券はまだこのケースの中にあります。
So that means Usami had held his briefcase while chasing the culprit. Suddenly, Tsubaki's father opened his mouth.
それじゃあお金はまだあるんだね。
It looks like he's still not ready to let go of his land. His words carried a trace of happiness.
はるちゃん。そう。
Tsubaki sighed, moved. Men alltså... ja, har de glömt bort brodern? I sighed too, but mine held a completely different meaning from Tsubaki's. Yeah, that means today was a stalemate.
だといいんですが。
Even though her expression was backed with confidence, there was still a shred of anxiety in her words. Let's not make the kidnapper too angry.
はい。それが怖いです。
Is that all you have to say? Do you even realize that Hiroaki-kun's life is on the line? Meddling little...
浅井くんやめて。はるちゃんは良かれと思って。
浅井君の気持ちもありがたいけれど、あの株券も家族の身体がかかった大切なものなんだ。
Even Tsubaki's father could cut in. True. Sorry. I'll just put up my laudable persona. You thought that he wouldn't release the hostage even if he got the ransom, right, Usami?
はい。犯人。魔王は恐ろしく慎重な人物です。もっと言えば、身代金を渡そうが渡すまいが、人質を返すつもりはないのかもしれません。
Oh. I see how it is then. Since the hostage isn't going to be coming back anyway, might as well keep him from getting the ransom, right? I said it mockingly. How logical. You, Usami, are a woman so truly logical that it's frightening. Usami was
宇
silent.
佐美さん、警察を頼らなかった時点で責任は全て僕が持つつもりだよ。だからあんまり思い悩まないでね。
そうだよ。たとえ警察の人がいても
Kommer hon
犯
i
人は
en
捕まえられなか
jättehög
っ
röst
た
från
かもし
ingenstans.
れないんだから。
I don't like watching scenes like
じ
this.
ゃあとりあえず株券を渡してもらおうか。
Tsubaki's father asked Usami for his family's saving. Usami said that she understood and opened the case. Unimaginable.
どういうことだ。
Her eyes widened. Usami's face was bleached white in an instant. In contrast, a shout of victory welled up in my chest. As if there was a demon baring its fangs inside me, mocking Usami. A shocked Usami, and Usami who had been turned to stone murmured.
ない。
Her face was adorned with an expression of defeat.
株券が、身代金が消えている。
Alltså jag är typ inte förvånad för att jag började tänka på det att skulle de haft kvar pengarna då skulle de behöva liksom göra en till sån jävla handover. Jag tror inte de skulle skriva in en till sån som tar liksom 1,5 timme att läsa igenom. För samtidigt så lär de ha gjort det på något annat sätt då, men det här är definitivt mer intressant. Vänta, va? Chapter 2, vänta, har det alltid varit Chapter 2? Var vi inte inne på typ Chapter 3 förut?
ちょっと聞いてくれよ、京介ちゃんよ。
Alltså jag menar, är det Chapter 2 nu fast det är Tsubakis route, eller vad händer? Jag vet inte. Jag vill liksom bara ha... Jag tror inte det. Ja, okej, vänta. Det finns 4 chapters är det ju. Det finns 4 chapters, men Tsubakis route håller bara på andra chaptern. Det var ingen spoiler jag kollade upp. Skulle jag inte påstå. Jag bara scrollar igenom lite snabbt. Vi ska ta avsluta nu i alla fall. Så jag får väl ta och tacka så mycket för att ni har tittat. Så ska jag gå och köpa lite mat så kommer jag kanske spela lite mer senare. Eventuellt. End of episod 22. Så tack så mycket för att ni har kollat. Det är faktiskt väldigt spännande det här tycker jag. Det är väldigt spännande. Jag är så sjukt nyfiken på hur de kommer göra med alla olika routesen. För att det känns som att antingen så liksom kommer de bortse helt från det här eller så kommer de bygga in det på något. De måste ju liksom bygga in det på något sätt. Eller så kommer det här få en upplösning och sen så kommer det bara bli en helt ny grej. Och det kommer typ inte funka. För vi känner typ inte karaktärerna så jättebra. Utan det har liksom bara varit fokus på det här. Så jag vet inte. Det är väldigt, väldigt nyfiken på att se hur de kommer göra det. Men det här avsnittet är slut i alla fall. Jag får tacka så mycket för att ni har tittat så får vi höras i nästa avsnitt igen. Och tills dess så får ni ha det bra. Så ta hand om er. Tack så mycket. Hej då.